This presentation is about flight, and it is part of Dinya Wahda. People have always wondered how birds can fly. In the past, many people tried to invent wings or machines that would take humans to the air. The first ones who succeeded 100 years ago were two brothers. Their surname was Wright. That's right, Wright, with a W. Anyhow, how did they do it? They spent a lot of time looking at pigeons. Lucky for us, they didn't get locked up for being crazy. So they continued looking at pigeons. In particular, they looked at how birds use their wings to fly. They noticed that when a pigeon opens its wings and closes them, it twists its wings in such a way that it pushes against the air. The Wright brothers were good at maths, and they calculated exactly how much force a bird pushes into its wings. And they calculated exactly what direction that force needs to be to go forward or upwards or to just stay in the air. Then they started to design machines. After many trials and failures, they came up with the first successful airplane, and it looked like this. The basic shape of airplane wings hasn't changed till today. We know how to make more powerful engines, so our planes are bigger. The Wright brothers' plane was tiny if you compare it to our jumbo jets. There, that's the actual size it would be. In the same way, there are big birds and small birds. But flying isn't just about size. It's also very much about shape. Let's have a closer look at that. Long, thin wings are good for gliding. That means using the air currents to hold you up. Many seabirds have wings like this because there are a lot of air currents just over the waves. Riding air currents saves you the energy of flapping your wings. So if you're a bird that spends a lot of time at sea, this is a great wing design. The birds you're seeing are shear waters. Can you see the long, narrow wings? Notice how much energy they save by riding air currents over the waves. They only have to flap their wings part of the time. These shear waters are gathering close to the touch-edge cliffs in the evening. Their young are in nests inside the cliff face. At night they will fly into their nests and feed their young. There is one land bird famous for gliding for a long time without a single wing flap, the swift. Swift means fast, and swifts spend all their life on the wing, except when they're nesting. They even sleep on the wing. That sounds pretty uncomfortable, but hey, we don't have very long thin wings that would keep us up there with no effort, do we? Air currents on land are different from those at sea. When the weather is warm, land gets hot, and the air that passes over the land picks up heat as it passes over it. We can't see air, but we know that warm air rises in spirals from the ground, just like in this picture. The white lines show hot air rising and falling when it cools. If you are a predator bird and you need to fly up high so that you can spot your prey on the ground, you can use these air currents and just open your wide wings to catch the hot air and rise with it. This is called soaring, and it spares you the effort of flapping your wings. The bird can ride the air downwards too, just like catching a bus and getting a ride. Have a look at these Marsh Harriers. These are birds of prey, that means they are predators, and they are soaring over Busquet. Can you see how they're going in circles? Their wings are long, but they are not thin. They're very wide because they don't need to twist and turn over waves, but simply to rest on the air. They've migrated all the way from Northern Europe, gliding whenever they found rising air, and they're now looking for a resting place. These Marsh Harriers are over Busquet. Some birds spend time in the air looking for prey, so they use air currents and need wide wings for this. But birds like bee-eaters also need speed, because their prey is small and can twist away from a hungry beak in a second. So a bee-eater needs to be able to twist fast to chase flying insects. Long wings would be no good for that. This bee-eater has the perfect solution: triangle-shaped wings that can ride on the air but will allow them to turn quickly. Many small birds live in woodland or fields, and they don't need to glide or soar because their food is among leaves of wild plants or among the leaves of trees. So they need wings that can let them turn very easily. At the same time, their wings must be small, or they will get stuck among the branches where they are looking for prey. This chiffchaff is looking for and catching insects from an open compost bin. In this slow motion clip, you can see clearly how it twists and turns so fast it manages to catch animals as small as mosquitoes. Notice also it's using its tail to brake, and whoop, did you get that? It turned in the air and caught an insect on its way down. It had to twist very fast to keep its balance and lands on another stick. These two chiffchaffs are looking for insects among wildflowers. When one of them lands on the other's plant, see what happens? It takes off immediately and turns in less than a second. Right there. Isn't that cool? So let's go over all that one more time. Today we looked at birds' wings and saw how the shape and size of the wings affects what the bird can or cannot do. Long, narrow wings are good for gliding and also for staying in the air for a long time without any effort. Long, wide wings are good for soaring, that is, rising high into the air without making any effort. Triangle-shaped wings are good for short gliding and allow them to turn and chase fast. And short round wings are good for fast twisting and turning. Got that? Now you can tell how a bird will fly just by looking at its wings.